Okay, so in this video we're going to be installing the neck onto the body. It's the first thing we do whenever we build a guitar, and once the neck's on we can then start to install the machine heads, and that will help set the tremolo up at the other end. So we've got a few things in front of us, obviously the neck and the body. We've got a neck plate, 4 neck screws, a Sharpie which I'm going to use in a few minutes, and I've got a 2.5mm drill bit which I'm going to use for drilling the holes. So that's pretty much it really. So the first thing I'm going to do is make some room. I'm going to put the neck into the neck pocket and just make sure that it's seated as far back as it will go. And then I'm going to turn the whole thing over. Still making sure that that neck is right at the back of that neck pocket, which it is. And we're just going to use a screw just to mark where the drill holes are going to go. That should be fine. Hopefully you can see on that video where those holes are. I'm just going to make them a bit easier to see with the Sharpie. And they're ready to be drilled. And you can drill these by hand. We've done it before, but we've got a drill press here, so we're going to be using that. Okay, so we're just about ready to start drilling the holes for the neck. Obviously we're going to be using a drill press, and we've got this set so that we don't drill too far down into the neck. It's about halfway basically what we're going to be doing. If you haven't got a drill press and you're using a handheld drill, then the easiest way to do it is to sort of gauge where halfway is and then put a little bit of masking tape around the edge of your drill bit. There's quite a bit on there. Just a little bit of masking tape, and then as soon as you hit that line you know exactly where to stop drilling. Okay, so it's just a case of drilling these 4 holes out, and then we'll get this installed on the body. So there we go, that's done. So now we've got the holes drilled in the neck, we're ready to install the neck onto the body. It's not going to be a permanent installation, we're going to take it pretty much straight back off. It's just really a case of making sure we're happy with the placement of the screws, seeing how the neck lines up, how it feels, and then we're going to install the machine heads and the tremolo. So it's quite a straightforward process, there's not a lot to it. But one thing we found over the years is that as you start to put these screws in, they can become quite tight and difficult to screw down all the way. So we give them all a quick rub with some wax, either paraffin wax, or in this case this is just ordinary candle wax, and this will help them go in a lot easier, will stop them sticking, and it will stop you stripping the threads off them as well. So it's definitely worth doing this. You can do this with all the screws, not just on the neck, but when you fit in the machine heads as well. It's a good tip as well. So once we've coated those, just a case of putting the neck in, flipping it over, and then installing these screws. And I'm basically just waiting for them to bite, and that will let me know that they've been lined up correctly. You know what I've not done? Put the neck plates on, have I? So maybe we'll do that first. Okay, so that's the neck installed. It seems to be right at the back of the neck pocket, which is good. Just checking there's no gaps down the back of that. And that looks pretty good to me. If there were, obviously we could just slacken the screws off a little bit, and then we could tap it into place. And again, we'll be lining this up with the tremolo a bit later on, just to make sure everything's nice and parallel. And that is just a case of just slackening the screws off again and just being able to just tap it a little bit either way just to get it aligned. So that's pretty much it. That's the neck install. We're going to take the neck back off now, and we're going to work on the machine heads.